You are watching Midnight Movie Talk, MMT, live from Los Angeles here on this Tuesday night. Just got out of M3GAN. That is the focus of our show tonight. I want to make sure one thing is absolutely clear as we get rolling here on this Tuesday evening. This is not a M3GAN review. You guys know there's an embargo, so we have to skirt around it. But the good news is here tonight, the really good news, is that M3GAN rocks. Why? Let's get into it. Here's my initial reaction coming out of AMC Century City about an hour ago. M3GAN is absolutely absurd. Absurdly fun! Everyone here leans hard into the ridiculousness of it all. I mean, how can you not be entertained by a demented robotic doll belting out titanium? Yes, titanium. That DJ song, the electronic song. I thought it was Lady Gaga. It was not. It was Sia who sang that with David Guetta. I believe that's how you say it. Sleeper hit incoming, no question about it. Full thoughts coming up tonight, which is now on MMT. Here is the short and long of what we're going to talk about tonight. Again, I want to make sure this is absolutely clear. This is not a M3GAN review. This is why you go to the movies, to just escape and have a hell of a good time. This is Child's Play, yes, remixed with a female doll that is AI, that learns to be evil. Everything you've seen in the trailer, yes, this movie is. But what makes it so much fun is exactly what I point out here, is that the supporting cast in particular knows the movie they're in. They know the absurdity of it all, and they deliver some funny ass stuff. You know who really stands out in this film? I'm going to pull up the IMDb page. I've never heard of this actor before. I guess he was in Crazy Rich Asians, a few other things. I've never seen Ronnie Chang before, but this guy steals the movie. This guy is amazing in M3GAN. So much fun. But it helps to know that you're in a goof film, right? They know they're not in an awards film. They know exactly what they're in, a killer AI doll film. And Ronnie gets it. He is fantastic in this. And of course, you have to have the leads. They need to be involved in the actual stakes of the film. So you have Allison Williams and the young actress who is, I believe, related to Madeline McGraw, who was so great in The Black Phone. Let me look at it here. I didn't even look to see what the name of this actress is. Give me 1 second. I believe it is. Yeah, it is. It's Violet McGraw. Here she is. So this is Madeline McGraw's younger sister. So there's talent in that family. From Madeline in The Black Phone to now Violet in M3GAN. And Allison Williams, you know, you guys know the story. I don't want to get into the full details because then it will be somewhat of a review. But this is not a M3GAN review. Again, one more time for my friends over at Universal. Not a M3GAN review, but M3GAN rocks. Here's the thing. I mean, all you want out of this film is to be entertained, to turn off the brain for an hour and a half. That's the other reason this film works. It is 130 and change with the credits 140. Thank you, God, for giving us a 90-minute movie again. For that, I'm already at least 1.5, maybe even 2 points up on the review. But when you make things tight and get to the point of a film that can be told in 90 minutes, there's no reason for even 91 or 92, although it might come in at 92. It works. And this is going to be a sleeper hit. We talked about it the other day. Will M3GAN outperform? It's in a great spot. You look back at what Universal was able to do in January, going back a few years. You go back to Split, and of course the sequel to that, which was Glass, right? Those two came out in January. This is Universal's month. They like to put stuff out early and mid-January and see what happens. Now, sometimes it doesn't work, like the 355, which was still in the middle of COVID, right? All the COVID fear. So the 355, other than the fact it was incredibly dull, didn't work. M3GAN is in that same spot right off the bat into 2023. Here it is. This is a film that I think initially some people were like 10, 11, 12, maybe 15. You're looking at 20 higher. 20 or higher here. After seeing it, I might take it to 25. I might even be looking at like a Black Phone situation because this will have outstanding word of mouth. And don't forget one other very important piece of the puzzle here. It is PG-13. It is not R. So when you have, and you go that little bit lower on the rating, right, you allow families to come in to see the movie. And having seen it, I have no problem with the rating. There's some discussion about should it have been R. Sure, there's deaths, but it's not hard R. It's not Violent Night, okay? It's PG-13, and because of that, you're able to get your audience to expand. Your available moviegoers is larger, obviously, with PG-13 than it is with an R. But the good news is here tonight, I was very entertained by this film, and I think it's going to be a surprise hit. Look at 20 or more million this coming weekend. Now, will it beat Avatar? Very likely not, because Avatar, if it drops even 50% this weekend, we'll be looking at about 32 million for the weekend. Let's say it drops a little more than that. It goes to 60, maybe in the high 20s. That means M3GAN would have to get up to like 29 to have a shot at beating it. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying that might be asking a little bit too much for a killer robotic doll film that is out the first week of January. But do not undersell that this film will exceed expectations at the box office. There's no question about it. Right to the comments. Let's go to it. I'm also going to do what we like to do whenever there is a social media embargo. We can go through and review the social media reviews, right? So I can go through Twitter, click on the hashtag M3GAN. In fact, let's do a couple and we'll get to the comments. And I can say, this is accurate, this is inaccurate. So here we go. Let's click on, let me find mine real quick, and then I'll click on the M3GAN. Here it is. Okay. Let's check it out. Here's what we have being said about M3GAN. Jonathan Sim. M3GAN is a killer good time, campy, thrilling, and laugh out loud hilarious. This horror movie knows exactly what it wants to be and has fun with it. And that's what we were talking about here throughout the night already, is that it knows the movie it is, and it leans into the absurdity of it all. And I would agree that the writer here, Akela Cooper, who did *Malignant*, and I think James Wan helped out a little bit with it. I know he's producer on it. It could be a cult classic. I don't see why it wouldn't be. In Grace Randolph, it's shockingly good. Review tomorrow. Well, we're doing a quasi. This is not. Hold on, real quickly before we. I want to make sure everybody is aware. This is not a M3GAN review, so that everyone's on the same page. Okay, please be on the same page with me. Let's go through some more social media, and then we'll go to reaction. Oh, there's mine. Absolutely absurd, absurdly fun, right there. Let's see what else we have. There's me again. That's my friend Rodrigo. Good man. Enjoyed sitting next to him. He liked it too. One thing I want to mention too about tonight is that when you have critics laughing and having a rollicking good time with this film, that tells me that the average moviegoer is going to go bonkers for it, because critics don't usually do that. They sit there, you get a little laugh here and there, and you can kind of judge by the room, just the reaction it's getting. I remember going back to Amsterdam. We all knew that movie was horrible, right? You could just hear the absolute nothingness in the auditorium as this thing played. Tonight was different. People were into it from the first second, and the way the film moves off the top, very smart, gets you engaged, and then you're in, and then people are just laughing out loud. And again, I bring back to that Ronnie. That Ronnie, he kills this thing. He is going to be like the breakout star of M3GAN, no question. More reaction here. Go back to it. A couple more, and then we'll get into some comments from you. M3GAN slashes and dances her way into a slasher villain canon with a pitch-perfect, darkly funny camp classic in the making. Takes a while to get going, which I would agree, a little bit too long, but it's still not enough to like dent the film. Once M3GAN sings an a cappella lullaby rendition of Titanium, which I brought out as well, I was in tears laughing. I mean, this is fun. Jana, she liked it. Everyone who's seen this movie gets it. It is a fun, as it says here, a bitchy murder doll. And that's exactly what the movie is. And that's the good news. Universal, thank you for delivering exactly what people wanted out of this movie. Let's go to the comments here and discuss your thoughts on, are you excited? You should be, because you will not be disappointed in the film. Don't go in there thinking this is like a 10 out of 10. This is some film that you're going to be remembering for years and years. No, just think of it as escape for 90-ish minutes in the cinema this weekend. Go see M3GAN, and you should be excited. Gone Girl, you're going to like it. And Drew, you should be. It's going to deliver what you want out of the movie. Chris Gore, I'm not giving you the full review because, as you know, he was there tonight with me at the screening. This is not a M3GAN review tonight. Not a review. So stop bringing that up. Hail chat. Thank you. Let's see. We got some more here. Babylon. This is correct, Drew. This is the right ranking, actually. M3GAN, greater than Babylon, greater than The Whale. That's how I'd stack those. I would say M3GAN and then Babylon equals The Whale. That's how close I have those horrifically bad films ranked. But M3GAN is shockingly better than a lot of the awards films. Now, it's not an awards film, but again, for what it is, when I evaluate a film, I'm going to evaluate it based on what it's trying to do. So when we watch M3GAN, we're not evaluating the film against a Fincher awards film, right? We're not doing that. We're going against some camp, cult classic, goof, ridiculous film, a Blumhouse film that's going to be a big hit for them. That's how you evaluate it. I mean, imagine walking into this and evaluating it like, well, the screenplay didn't quite work. Like, come on, man, just lose yourself in the film. You're going to have fun. Ricardo, awesome. You made my night. It's not a review. Remember, guys, again, just so if anyone asks, this is not a M3GAN review. It was better than expected. Solid 7. I mean, I would actually go higher than a 7. I can't say it because, again, this is not a review. But for what it is, it's higher than a 7 for me, and it will be very well received and get a very strong cinema score for horror, even though this is horror adjacent. It's not like even Violent Night with the level of absolute gruesomeness in that film. This film doesn't have that. That's why it's PG-13. And yes, you could take kids, not little kids. They're going to be scared of this. Take them like, 10. I would have no problem with a 10-year-old, 11. No problem with seeing M3GAN. I mean, come on. Half the stuff they watch on television is more violent than this. This guy's, I guess he's a big comedian. This Ronnie, he's amazing. He's very, very good. I don't know what the budget is, but I can tell you this. Whenever Blumhouse makes a film, they're very skilled. Jason's a very skilled producer and now executive producer of films, horror films at really low budgets, right? No matter what it is, he's going to get a lot of bang for the buck out of this. I think the most expensive part of this film would be the CGI. You have to do her face, right? So whenever you have M3GAN doing her face and the eyes, that's got to be CGI'd out. I think it's like another actress, right? Body double, and then they layer the face on top of it. But that would be the most expensive thing about M3GAN, because otherwise there's not a whole lot going on that would, cause a budget to balloon to something more than 10 million, probably under that. So think of the profit margin here for them. Opening weekend, they're going to be in the black after opening weekend, or close to it. Because let's just say it has a 10 million budget. Let's see if we can pull that up. I'm going to say 10. It can't be more than that. Let's see. Let's put in M3GAN budget. So the M3GAN budget, according to this, is, I don't think they even have one. Let's just roll with something like 10. If it is a 10 million, then we're looking at profit at 30, because it's about 3 times, right? So it's going to get there. It could get there this weekend. What if this thing opens at 30? Can you imagine? Kevin, I got to tell you, every time I see this, it's very hard for me to understand these takes. Now, Kevin, bear with me. I'm not attacking you. I want you to listen. In Los Angeles, and for those of you, the media members in New York, they know any major city, whenever you see something like this, that people need to promote it, the studio does. Out here, we don't understand that, because everywhere we go here, there are M3GAN bus stop billboards. There's on the side of the building. Anywhere you go, there's M3GAN. I mean, there's a gigantic one right across from my gym, right on Sunset. I usually take a picture of it. It's the Universal building right at La Cienega and Sunset. Huge billboard for M3GAN. So for me to hear that they're not promoting it doesn't even make sense to me. I don't comprehend that, because I'm in LA. Now, if you are in Columbus, Ohio, if you are in Dallas, if you are in Denver, it's going to be different, because those cities aren't run by entertainment like LA. So maybe that's the case. I heard that people say that about Babylon. Whoa, too bad that Paramount didn't promote it. I'm like, what? Out here, you can't go 5 feet without running into a Babylon billboard, bus stop poster, something. Anywhere you look, there's a Babylon thing, and that's how M3GAN is. Universal, because they're right here. Universal is like 5 minutes from my house, the actual studios, right? So that's why they absolutely wallpaper this town. A few more comments, and then we'll get into some more. Let's get into a few more social media reactions, and then I can review those, because again, this is not a M3GAN review. Again, I'm going to leave that up so that whenever they come across this, Universal, they won't say that was a review. Okay, we've done a few of these. Let's roll down. There's me. Come on, Twitter. There's me again. Why am I in there twice? Okay, let's find some more. I'm not finding anything great. I thought there were a lot of critics in here. So someone put this. Someone had a bunch of M3GANs marching across the field. Oh my god, that's kind of funny. See, there's your marketing right there. Granted, it's a tweet. It's on Twitter, and film Twitter is not the rest of the universe. But it feels like, does it not feel like? And hit me with a comment on this. Does it not feel like there's really strong buzz for this film? And all that's going to happen here when you get reviews like my initial thoughts versus review of M3GAN, when this all pours in, it'll all be positive. This is going to have a Rotten Tomatoes score in the 90s, because when you're evaluating it, you're evaluating it based on what it wants to be, what you're expecting out of it, which is a stupid, ridiculously entertaining, B movie. And that's exactly what it is. So the reviews will be high, and so will the cinema score. So that will lead to good word of mouth. That will lead to extra buzz that's already built in. This buzz has been building for weeks. You go back to that first trailer dropping, people were making fun of it, but it doesn't matter. As long as people are talking about it, that's how you win, right? No publicity, bad publicity is still good. Any publicity is good. So in this case, that's what M3GAN's been building here for weeks and weeks and weeks. Back to the comments here. If anyone asks, it's not a review. Exactly. 4K Nate, 100% not a review. So do not. But here's the thing, though. Remember this, is that studios, and I am going to point to this because you guys know I don't mess around when I say what the reality of things are, is studios don't mind if you come on here and discuss the film. They'll give you more leeway with that when you are super positive on it. But you guys know one thing about me, not a shill, right? I should have that at the bottom all the time. Not a shill, is that when I say something is good or I had fun with it or it's terrible, converse, whichever one you want to go with, that is how I feel about the film. There's no shillism here. There's no BSing. It's the reality of what I just watched. If I came out of M3GAN and had no fun and I said, this isn't working, and I would say that, but that's not how I feel. And that's not the reality of what I just watched for 90-ish minutes. So therefore, I am very certain that this film is going to be very well received by a large swath of the movie going public, and it's going to do what Smile did. When I came out of Smile, I came on the stream right out of it and told you it was going to be big, really big. That's what's going to happen with M3GAN. The same exact thing. Word of mouth is popping on this film. You can feel it when it's there, and conversely when it's not. We knew going into Babylon's opening weekend that thing was dead. There was no buzz. It was over, right? My Mission Impossible 7 trailer, over. That film was dead. Amsterdam, dead. M3GAN, alive. Very much alive with very, very big buzz. Troy, giving it to you. It's going great. I had a fun time at the movie theater. And the funny thing is, when you look at what's coming up this month, in this next couple months, it's kind of dead. So when you have something fun and engaging and ridiculous to enjoy this weekend, get out and do it, because you're going to have weekends coming up here that are just like nothing. I mean, I was talking to Gore about this before we walked into M3GAN tonight. I don't even know the next movie that's anything buzzworthy coming up anytime soon. You got to go to Ant-Man in February. I mean, let me look. Let's pull up the schedule right now. Let me look at it, because we just did it the other night, but I didn't look at all of January. Let's just gun it up right now. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pop it up and we'll go through it. And I can tell you right now, the films that are going to, struggle, and the films that obviously we know January is kind of like a dumping ground. Okay, here we go. This is the release schedule. This weekend, those of you, I'm glad I just popped this up. If you have not, you haven't. Most of you have not seen it. Go see Women Talking. Do not be turned off by the title. From many streams we've done here on MMT. Huge fan of the film. Bigger fan of Sarah Pauli's direction on that. You can see it over my shoulder here in the MMT studios. I love it. It's one of my favorite films of the year. It was in my top 10 of 2022. Go see Women Talking. And also M3GAN. Really nice weekend when you look at those two films. Two completely different things, but yet I recommend both highly. And then we roll out to A Man Called Otto, a film that I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would. That goes wide for you guys the weekend after. Plane, which is, as we know, not a huge film. It's Lionsgate. It's like you see it all in the trailer. Still could do okay numbers. Let's say 10 on that. But when you look at this House Party, I mean, come on. Is anyone excited for House Party? And then you got an IFC film, Skinamarink. I'll have to ask for a screening link of that. Missing will be interesting. That's from the same one who did Searching. Everything's on the phone, on the device, the film. I think I might be into that. A24's got a film, The Sun, not a great film. That's at the end. And then you just don't have a big film. We roll through this. We do not have another really big film until we get to Knock at the Cabin, which is February 3rd, and then Ant-Man is like directly after that. So really, it's going to be slim pickings. So enjoy the fact that you have a movie here this weekend to watch in M3GAN that was really fun. I saw a behind-the-scenes video. The face is a mask. The eyes might be CGI. Okay, so that makes sense because obviously they put the mask on the robot because it's a robot, right? Kind of like the Child's Play remix that we got back in the remake back in, what was that, 19? It's like that. So that would make sense. The eyes are CGI. The embargo's up tomorrow. Yeah, they like it all to hit at one time. But again, remember, guys, this is not a review, so it doesn't matter. Anything that we say here is not. It's just general thoughts. It's not a review. Wait, we got a super chat. Let's get to it. Ramon, hold on. I got to find you here. You pop it up. Give me a second. Where are you, Ramon? I see your super chat. And I can't, for whatever reason, come up on the screen. Give me 1 minute. I'm trying to get it up there. Let's pop it. Patience, guys. This is live. We don't do the thing taped. Here it is. Boom. Ramon, my kryptonite, shills and movies that are too long. Absolutely correct. Those two things, and certainly being super opinionated. And that'll always be the way it is. And I'm never going to apologize for that. It is what it is. Sorry. And I think that having done this long enough, my takes are educated and I know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot, except not a review here. It's not a M3GAN. But yes, I do not like shills. And you guys know which ones we're talking about. And I definitely do not like long films that have no reason to be long. It's not just about the length, right? I mean, you look at Wolf of Wall Street, 3 hours, Scorsese. That's one of his best films, and that's best performance by Leo DiCaprio. It's 3 hours long, but the film is fantastic. Every single frame of that film, I love. Wolf of Wall Street, my number one movie of, what was that, 14? Yes, that works. But then you get 3 hours and plus for Babylon, and No Way in Hell should be 145, and then I wouldn't hate it as much. The longer it goes and the worse a film is, that combination is death. It is just skull emoji over. As soon as you get to a film that is hard to watch and then is too long, then you're like, okay, now you've ruined any goodwill we had here. So you really want to get to your film and get it as tight as possible. That's my other main problem with Avatar 2, is that it is so damn long. 3 hours and 12 minutes. It shouldn't be longer than 2, and we get an extra hour and 12 minutes of Avatar. I would rather watch M3GAN 4 times in a row than have to sit through Avatar 2 again. I mean, that's the reality of it. That's how much I dislike my time in Avatar 2, a film that tortures you with the length. Babylon, I would never consider watching again. That'll never happen. You'd have to pay me an obscene amount of money. I mean, $500 minimum. $500, I will go watch Babylon again. That's the going rate. If you want to super chat me on that, I will watch it for $500. It's a lot of money. That's why I'm not playing around with this. Cell phone. M3GAN is being promoted everywhere, even the Midwest. I don't know what some people are talking about. I agree. For here in LA, they are. I can't speak to what you guys are experiencing somewhere else. But I feel like the ads are there. The online marketing's there. It's on a whole bunch of YouTube stuff right now. The quick video. And it's also, I saw football games. There's lots of stuff going on for this film. So I don't think Universal's dropping the ball. They know, certainly they have money to play with here too, because it's over-indexing right now. It was supposed to be a $10, $11 million film, and now it's going to be 20 plus this weekend, guaranteed. Locked and loaded, 20 plus. And that means you can spend more in marketing because they know they have people that all they do is track, right? The pre-sale tracking, the buzz on the street tracking. And I feel like even though I don't have access to the databases that they do, but I can just feel it. I told you one of the things in a weird way, have a way of tapping into is almost like the zeitgeist. So you feel it. You can feel when there's buzz and conversely where there isn't. So use Avatar 2, for example. I don't think the buzz for Avatar 2 at the beginning was as strong now as it is now, right? Then it felt like it was actually lower than it is now, especially during the Christmas corridor. It really was benefited by that. We figured it would be, but now it's at $1.4 billion worldwide. Now, 1.44, I believe. Remember, it's still not at 2 billion. I know a lot of you think it's a slam dunk. We talked about this Sunday night. I'll make it short and sweet here. It still has $550 million to go. Now, I understand that is very much attainable, but it's not locked because you don't have any more countries. It's not like waiting to open in China. That would be huge. If it was at 1.45 and it still had China, then you'd be like, oh God, that's at least 165, right? 200 million there at least. It should be more than that. But I'm just telling you guys that I'm not going to go down this road again. I don't want to. I'm so tired of talking about Avatar. I'm just so happy to talk about anything but Avatar right now. So I'm going to pull back up. This is not a M3GAN review because I don't want to talk about Avatar anymore. But if you guys give me a super chat, I have no choice to do it. All right. It does. Rusty, it is the perfect January movie. It just works because it is what you're looking for. You just came out of the holidays. Why am I going to go to the movie theaters? Oh, okay, that's right. I'll go watch the B movie Killer Doll film from Blumhouse that somehow manages to be absurdly entertaining. That works for early January because we're done with all the awards films, for better or worse. This year's awards films, we've talked about it so much, overall disappointing, but there were highlights for me, as you know. Tar, After Sun, Women Talking, Decision to Leave. These are all really, really strong films no matter what year. But the problem was we had all these other ones that completely disappointed. Fabelmans, Babylon, The Whale. These films were a complete letdown. I mean, they were on my worst of list. So in January, you're just looking for a good night out at the movies. Just get me out of the house. Let me have fun. It's still cold as hell for half of you. Hell, it's 52 degrees here in LA for a high. And we had rain tonight. We have had the worst stretch of weather going back like over a month. It's been crap weather in LA. If you came to visit LA right now, you're like, why did I bother? And it's going to continue for like another week. We're supposed to be like 65, 70, 75 right now. We're at like 55 in rain. It's like Seattle. We've been stuck in a Seattle pattern. Everything from that Pacific Northwest, that trough is just coming down and drilling us. More comments. Let's go. Yeah, 52 is a heat wave to some of you. Out here, it's puffer coat weather. I mean, you guys saw me tonight. Go look at the picture of me in the theater. I have my soccer kit on, football kit / soccer jersey. And by the way, tonight, I want to mention that it is Fulham. Why am I wearing a Fulham kit tonight? Because they just won their 3rd in a row. They're in 7th in the Premier League after being promoted last year from Championship. That is a hell of a year for Fulham, no matter what happens from here on out. Very much looking like they're going to stay up. So that's why we went with Fulham tonight on MMT on this M3GAN Not a Review Tuesday night. Not a M3GAN Review Tuesday night. More comments here. Anything you want to get into? Let's open it up. I do want to get to one more thing, latest on Jeremy Renner. Let's pop it up. This is from THR. I kind of missed a lot of this today. I knew there would be some kind of update on him, and I think the number one thing, hold on, I got the wrong window. 1 second, please. Boom, there it is. Okay, so when you look at Renner, I think the number one thing we got today was that Instagram post. There he is, and you can see he looks in bad shape. I mean, you've got the eye is completely messed up. He's obviously got the IV rolling there. We don't know what happened. We hear his legs got run over. I mean, we don't know. Maybe he lost a leg. I mean, we don't know for sure what is happening. It says here, thank you all for your kind words. I'm too messed up now to type, but I send love to you all. The good news, the best news is here, obviously he's alive. He's going to make it through, even if he had a severe injury, and let's just say, God forbid, he lost a leg. He is alive, okay? There are people at my gym that I see every day, multiple people. It's very strange that I see this at my gym, who have had their legs amputated for whatever reason, and they have that prosthetic leg that's almost like a hook, the metal at the bottom. I've seen that. They come in and they're still going at it. So I think that no matter what happens with Renner, if he did lose a leg, God forbid, he will be able to overcome that. I think he's a tough dude, and obviously I like him. He's an interesting actor. You go back for me, when I look at Jeremy Renner, I look at 28 Weeks Later. He was so good in that film. If you guys have not watched 28 Weeks Later, and God, man, why have they not made it 28 months later? I would finance that movie. If I won the Powerball, I would finance 28 months later. 28 Weeks Later is unreal. One of my favorite zombie movies. It's like the much better version of World War Z. If you've never watched 28 Weeks, not days, don't bring the day shit in here. I'm talking weeks. Jeremy Renner's in that. Idris Elba, Rose, what's her name? Yeah, her. And she's in it. It's like, it is a who's who of actors in that thing. And I go back, and that was when Jeremy Renner was coming up. He did that. He did Dahmer, that small independent thing, not the one on Netflix, many, many years ago. And then he came up and he was in that film 28 Weeks Later. And I go, this guy's going to be a star. Jeremy Renner's a star. I just remember watching that film going, this guy's got it. And look, there he is. So, prayers up for him for sure. And so I guess the good news is, again, he's going to pull through. I guess, that's the best we can ask for at this point. Whatever else you want to get to, let's do it. Open comment time. We might go a little bit shorter tonight. We'll see. Let's go. Open comment. Whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm game for it. I don't care what it is. What we saw last night in the NFL. I'm game for that. Whatever you want to talk about, let's do it. Because that's what we do here. It's not just about, yeah, see, this is my kind of stuff. I was researching the hidden planet. I think it might be Planet X. Okay, quickly. This is going to be really fast, everybody. You guys ready? This is what we're talking about. For those of you just joining the channel, you're like, what the hell is...
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff P.
Ready? Here it comes.
It is December 11th.
Sure the volume's off on this. This is the planet that is spinning out. This, you guys are like, what am I watching? I don't care. We're showing it to you. This is a weather cam This is a weather cam in the middle of nowhere, Finland. This thing is pointed out just to look at the stars. Well, someone scrubbed through all the video and saw this thing appear all of a sudden. Look here in the corner. Here it comes. Watch it spin. There's a stripe on it. It comes around, and then it's going to come back around, and you start to see this X formation. Get ready for it. Right there. Do you see it? There it is. So you're asking me, what is that? I'm not going to do this every night. I'm just going to explain because Solomon jumped in here. Oh, that's right. My bad, guys. My bad. It's like, hold on. You're right. As soon as we start doing this, I got to do that. Okay, the red light's on. Quickly, and then we're getting back to movies. Just if you haven't ever watched the video, watch it rotate. That freaking thing is spinning, and it is also... The sun is in front of that. It is in front of the object. In fact, the sun is actually going backwards and illuminating that freaking spinning planet thing that looks like it has a giant X. That's okay. That's it. That's it. That was our freaky for tonight. Now it goes back to purple. Tweaky Tuesday. Anything else you want to get into? Let's do it. And Roland Emmerich's next film, Planet X. Listen, these guys know. Come on, man. You guys know, these people know out there what the hell's actually happening. We're not going to tell us. We're never going to know. We're never going to... David, good evening to you. We're never going to know. Yeah, I'm sorry about my Buckeyes too. It sucks. But the good news is that, again, M3GAN rocks, but this is not a M3GAN review. One more time. M3GAN rocks, but this is definitely not a M3GAN review. So that is clear. It is stated for the record, but it does rock. But it's not a review. All right, let's roll. Anything else you guys got? Let's do it, and then we'll be back. I don't know if we'll do one Thursday. We'll see if I'm in the mood. If not, you guys know I'm always here on Sunday night. But again, thank you all for being here. Please please subscribe. You already are if you're here. And let's continue to grow into 2023. We had a fantastic 9 months, and ultimately it's about community, and I have no problem coming here. There's been haters. We had Timothy Chalamet in here the other night, and he was not happy with anything. And I pull up a comment. As long as you have decorum and you want to come in here with class and say, these are the issues I have no problem addressing it. It's live. I'm not going to shy away from that. Now, I'm not going to pull up a video that says, you're dumb and I hate your ugly face. You might believe that, but I'm not going to get into that. That's not what we're going to do. But if you have a specific gripe, such as your hair looks ridiculous, we might be okay to entertain that. But remember, the reason the hair looks like this, we were going for the mullet. After seeing Lost Boys, I said, I'm going for that mullet, and I've achieved it, and I want a little bit of recognition for that before I shave my head. Okay? I don't know what's going to happen next, but for now, the hair remains mulletized. Yes, that is a word. Mulletized. We need a M3GAN version of the Cleveland Rock song. M3GAN, the best part. Oh, I can't, this might be too much. M3GAN sings songs. That's the beauty. Is the absurd and just, oh my God, what am I watching? Nature of M3GAN. She starts singing songs like that Titanium, which I put in the quote, not a review. It was in the social media reaction. That was funny. These are the things that you're looking for when you're watching a film about a killer female Chucky AI doll film, right? That's what we want. Yes, Timothée Chalamet was here and he was angry. Ricardo. Timothée Chalamet on track if you start talking about his box office performance. Thank you, Ricardo. I feel like the mullet is working. It's quite bountiful. Look, I mean, it's got a lot of body. The mullet does, and it was a mission of mine. And Scott, Patrick, oh my God, listen, if you haven't watched this, I know Gore was just on a few minutes ago. If you've not seen, hold on, let me pull it up actually, because Gore will let me do this. I'll show you a little bit of it because that's actually perfect. Let's look at Film Threat Babylon. Give me one second. Okay, so I went on Gore's show and I said, this movie, we were raging about Babylon because he said it's good. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You can't tell me that Babylon is good. Hold on. Film set review. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, got it. Let's pull it up. Give me a second. Here it comes. Okay, I have permission to do this. So if Gore said I could. So this is not a copyright thing. Gore said I could do this. So YouTube, Gore said I could do this. Okay, hold on. Let's crank it. Okay, so I went on his show. If Gore wants to do, so there I am. You can see in the MMT studios. We've got Gore. I got Alan Ing. We have Dante. He's got a great new show called Verbal Riot. Dante's great. Go find him on YouTube. So he had me on. You guys see me there with the red. I have the Middlesbrough jersey on for Christmas because it's very red, the red background. And let's listen just a minute of that.
You know, a Babylon court case where you argue for the merits of that piece of trash film, I will take you apart, Gore.
Much of the reason I
said I want to have like a live debate with him. So we had kind of this thing. Hold on, he lost. I don't care what he says here.
Movie is not. Here's what I noticed the second time I watched the film.
He watched it, by the way, guys,
first
3
you're
times.
Sort of caught up in the spectacle.
He watched it 3 freaking times. That is 9.5+ hours of fucking Babylon. One of the the number 2 worst film of the year,
and the sort of bizarre
nudity. Orgies. Was there, I don't even remember.
Was there nudity? I honestly don't remember that.
The most unsexy orgy
in the
history of cinema.
Absolutely unsexy orgy.
I thought it was just bizarre, like the sort of over the top parties. What I liked about it, it's a conversation about the love of film. When Manny has this conversation, like, why do you want to be on a movie set? He wants to be close to the magic. It's when you look at the conversations with their talking about movies, and look, Paulie, you need to see this film.
No, I don't need to see the film.
No, good job, Paulie. You don't need to see it.
Chris.
You're smart.
Yeah.
How was this actor? Was this guy any good?
Diego.
Thank you.
No, I love
what I say. Did I say?
No, listen, Alan. He's fine.
Great.
He's fine. It's not like he is a detriment to the film, but he's also not a best actor. I mean, you guys, we got to stop doing this where we watch somebody and go, oh, well, they are the best actor, or they're certainly in consideration. It's fine. It's not a performance that I am going to ever remember.
He held his own.
Here, if you want to watch that, go and watch the whole thing. I'm just telling you right now that I won, and there's no defense for Babylon. Gore, if I were to pop you up right now, I would literally destroy you in 2 seconds. There's no defense for that film, and I know this got me in trouble. People are like, you're too mean about Babylon, Erick. You're just being mean. Stop. I mean, good Lord, if I stopped at quote unquote being mean, then we wouldn't even have a channel. It'd be like, what's the point of doing this? Because if you're going to be a reviewer, you have to sometimes be mean. Go back and watch Siskel and Ebert. They savage films. I mean, Siskel would just destroy films. And I love Gene Siskel. If I could be even 1/10 of what Gene Siskel was from a movie evaluation perspective, then yes. And he was absolutely detonated films. So I just don't understand this generation these days, right? I was talking about this with Chris and just this younger generation. I know it's so cliche to say they've been told everything's great, they're great, everything good, but it feels like it's got to be true, because whenever you come up with something that's like harsh and you say, this is terrible, this is the worst movie, this, that, oh my God, this is violence. The language you're throwing out there is violent. Stop doing that. It's like, you guys, the real world is not easy. I mean, get over it. Grow a thick skin. The same stuff that we did when we were Gen X, when we were kids. Gore will tell you this. People would do crazy. I mean, God, I'm bullied. I was bullied. Gore's probably bullied. We all were bullied, and we got over it, and we moved on. And actually, it might make you tougher for the real world. But all these younger people are like, oh, Erick, he's toxic. He's toxic because he says things that are not nice. He's toxic. That's the voice, too. That's the voice of the typical film Twitter user. He's toxic. Yeah, exactly, Alex. He still love. You clearly see that Siskel and Ebert's blood pressures were going crazy because they were so angry. And that was me with Gore talking about Babylon, because there's no quarter for someone who likes Babylon. I can't entertain it. We can't do it. Their worldview is small combined to being terminally online. Isn't that the thing? I've told you guys before so many times, don't make me post another shirtless picture. I won't do it. I promise tonight. No shirtless Ericks tonight. Live a life outside, and that actually helps you when you evaluate films, because you have experience in the world that you can draw on to help you to better dial in what works and what doesn't work. I feel like maybe that is true. Some people just spend so much time behind a computer. I was out all day. I went to the gym, went to the movie, saw friends, came home doing a stream. It's always just keeping active for me. And I feel like if you don't have a real life, like living a real life, that's not good. You need to get out of your house and just go to a bar, even if it's by yourself, sit at the bar and drink. I mean, Gore does it every time. Gore is the norm of the 35er over at Pasadena. Here he comes. That's Gore perched at the end of the bar there at the 35er. Funny story from the 35er the other night. This was last night. I went over there for the Rose Bowl. There was one bartender in this bar that was packed, like 200 people in the bar. One bartender, and she was definitely not all there. Like she was on some substance. I don't know what it was, but she was not with it. And she was running the entire bar, and I'm like, my God. I told him, and hope he did. Gore, hopefully you checked your credit card bill, because I have a feeling you paid for the entire bar's drinks, because she was so out of it. Erick was the model for the Clooney Batman nipple suit. There's no shirtless pictures tonight. I'm not going to do it. I did wear sunglasses and polo shirts with the collar turned up like a villain in the 80s. We all had the Lost Boys sunglasses. The sunglasses that Michael puts on in the Lost Boys. You remember those? Everyone had a pair of those. They were knockoffs, direct from China, or maybe back then Japan. Who knows where they were made back then. Maybe even in the United States back in the 80s. But then knockoff sunglasses, like I want to be like Michael in Lost Boys. And he had the hair. And I think today, so many years on, I feel like I've done it. The bartender, I would assume, made a lot of money. But yeah, I did jump. I can jump high. I'm telling you, when the hair gets too long, mohawk. Right now, you guys, just so you know, the sides are short, okay? The back is really bushy, okay? And the top is pretty long. But in general, it's kind of already a faux hawk because it's short on the sides. I can't stand when my hair gets like bozo-y on the side. You can say, feel free to chat away and tell me, dude, it looks bozo-y right now. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care anymore, because it's a mullet and it's just going to be a wild mane of hair. As long as I have hair, I want to keep it wild and Fabio-esque with lots of curl. My hair has natural curl. I do not get a curling iron out and do this to the back. Okay, it just is natural. Flea market Oakleys. No, even that. Gore's confirming the 35er story. The bartender was definitely on something yesterday. After Babylon's performance, good Margot Robbie. Here's the thing. It's not her fault. It's not Margot Robbie's fault that she picked the worst year to be in a David O. Russell film and a Damien Chazelle film, because they both gave us their worst ever film. And unfortunately, she was in both of those, in Babylon and in Amsterdam. Not her fault, though. On paper, she should say, yes, I'm going to work with David O. Russell, even though allegedly an asshole. We've seen the videos. But as a director, I think he's very skilled. I like what he does, just not writing Amsterdam. That was, and then Chazelle. We saw Whiplash, we saw First Man, and we saw La La Land. You see a technically skilled director, a director of great skill and flash, and I would absolutely want to work with Damien Chazelle. Don't blame Margot Robbie. But if Damien Chazelle's asking you to be in his next film, I would ask to look at the script and to go through it with the proverbial fine-tooth comb and then send that script to as many people that know what they're talking about. Send it here to the MMT. Address will show up on the screen here. And I will go through the script and say yes or no to Damien Chazelle's next film. I told you guys what would happen if Chazelle came to me with the script for Babylon, and assuming the script for Babylon looked like the script in the movie that we got in Babylon, I would have said, Damien, this is shit. You need to leave and come back when you give me a better film about 1920s Hollywood, not this. This is atrocious. I would have told him that, but the studios didn't. Paramount's like, I'm so happy to be working with Damien Chazelle. Let's get anything out of him. And that's the problem. You don't just take anything from any director. You still need to go through it and make sure that it's going to be on point and it looks like something that you're excited to make. Look at Universal. They just gave Nolan that huge deal. And even though Nolan probably said, I'm going to give you whatever I damn well want, and Universal's like, okay, Nolan has a longer track record than Chazelle, right? No question. He goes back much further than Chazelle. Whiplash was 12, 13, 14. I want to say 13. So Whiplash goes back to that time. You know, obviously we know that Nolan goes back forever. So you get more leeway when you sign Christopher Nolan. Paramount got into trouble by saying, hey, Damien Chazelle's had two great films and one pretty good film. And let's just go ahead and give you the fourth, whatever you want to do. No. This is the number one problem in Hollywood today. The studios are saying yes to every director because they want to work with them, whether it's Apple, Netflix, Universal, Warner Brothers, Disney. Disney probably less than the others for sure. Sony. They go and shop and say, what's the best deal I can get? And then once, like, let's say Del Toro's got the pedigree, he's got the track record that he walks up to any studio and says, hey, I want to make this movie. But look here, go to Del Toro and look back at Crimson Peak. Oh my God, what a boring ass film Crimson Peak was. Poor Universal's like, oh, Guillermo del Toro, make whatever you want. I remember walking around the Universal lot back in like 2016, and I came upon one of the sets for, I didn't know at the time because I hadn't seen Crimson Peak yet, but you know the scene, they're vampires. That movie's so bad. It's such a dull film. I remember I saw the movie and I go, oh my God, that was the set I saw. It's literally was, you know how big a set is? The sets are huge. They are hundreds of feet high. And the walls were lined with this house that they built inside of the studio at Universal. And then Crimson Peak turned out to be absolute trash. I mean, so bad. But that's the problem when you just say yes to a director and say, okay, let's go ahead and make whatever movie you want. Then that's it. And that's probably it, Alan. She probably said yes without looking at the script because you're working with David O. Russell. Hey, it's Damien Chazelle. That's a problem. If I'm an actor and I don't care, especially if you have a say, if you're an up and coming actor, you take whatever you can get. But if you're like a Brad Pitt, if you're a, Margot Robbie, Tom Cruise, obviously, name huge star, anybody, you are going to get Chris Evans. You're going to be able to say no to a script, right? Because you have built yourself up to the point where you are the centerpiece and you can say whatever you want and you get it, right? You're the megastar. I would definitely say, I need to see your script because you need to protect yourself. I don't care who you're working with. You could work with Fincher, and we know there's I don't think there's a bad, like really bad Fincher film, but I mean, Mank is not great. Mank is, talk about an absolute dull film. Mank, and overlong and what a disappointment. But Mank, as boring as Mank is, it's still better than Babylon and better than Amsterdam, better than The Whale. Okay, so Mank is at least watchable, and the cinematography, production design. With Babylon, I mean, you get some cinematography, but it's literally, shots of an elephant taking a shit on the audience. How does that win best cinematography? Here's our reel for the cinematography of Babylon. This is the opening shot of the elephant taking a crap on top of the guy. Isn't this great? This is my kind of film. Whatever else, go ahead, hit me. Whatever you want to do, we got time. Make sure I'll make sure I didn't miss anything here on the. If you have another topic, go for it. You know I'm good for that. We do this thing live. We don't mess around with like, oh, I need to think about what I'm going to say for better or worse. For better or worse, 10-minute warning. We're only going an hour tonight. 1 hour. MMT is over at the 1 hour mark. You have 10 minutes to get in. 10 minutes, give me a super chat, you're in. Del Toro doesn't make money unless it's Pacific Rim or Hellboy 1. Pacific Rim was really fun. The first one, second one, not nearly as good, but I think he didn't even do that one, right? Del Toro did that one for Warner's, and Warner's made the sequel based largely on how it did in China. Pacific Rim didn't even do the numbers stateside that they were looking for, but China carried it. And you'll see that because obviously we see now with Avatar doing double plus the number overseas that's doing domestic. Domestic, it's like at 450, I want to say, right around there. And worldwide, it's overseas, I should say, 1 billion. So that's where you get your 145. So 1 billion, that's a 2x plus on the overseas. So when you see that happen, then your overseas is carrying it, and that's what happened with Pacific Rim. That's why they went ahead and greenlit the second one because of that. Yeah, Hellboy wasn't a huge hit. I didn't even hate the last Hellboy, by the way. I want to make that. I have to admit that. I remember watching the David Harbour Hellboy movie, the Lionsgate one, and I go, "This is fun. I actually enjoyed this movie." And then I came out and I read all the reviews, and I was like, "Why are people saying this is terrible?" First of all, anything David Harbour's in is going to be solid. I don't care what it is. Black Widow upped it. Violent Night, better than it should have been. Hellboy, much better than it should have been because of David Harbour. He's always going to elevate the material. But I remember reading those thoughts on the remake, and I was like, what? Babylon by Luhrmann, it would have been better because I think Baz Luhrmann knows how to handle a film like that. Chazelle is better served by going back to a Whiplash. I remember the films I always love to watch are going to be tight, character-driven, small, grounded films, and Whiplash is that. I think First Man is largely that. La La Land, obviously not so much. But Whiplash, that's my kind of film, right? About two characters. That's it. Those two. J.K. and what's his ass from Maverick. That guy. I'm not even going to look. I completely am forgetting his name. Those two. That's it. That's all you have. Miles Teller. Thank you. That's it. And that film is amazing. One of the best films that year. It might have been my number one of that year. I got to go back. Was that the year of Ex Machina, though? That was a really strong year. Like 13. If you look at 11, 12, 13, 14, those were really great years. I mean, there were some amazing films. Drive was in that window. Place Beyond the Pines. I'm talking lesser known films. I even go back to Danny Boyle's, not Millions. I love Millions. Danny Boyle. Trance. Trance isn't a great film, but you get the direction, you get the music usage, the score. Trance is cool. It's definitely too much going on with that script. It's too heady. It's inside Labyrinth, inside of another one, and you start to get lost in the film. And I think that was one of the problems with Glass Onion. Just make it, streamline it. I know you want to make it so heady, but when you give all these fakes here and there, eventually the audience is like, okay, I've just lost it. I can't, this is convoluted. I can't do this. And I think that's the problem. Women Talking rocks. Oh, I'll do a Women Talking debate. Women Talking is great. Women Talking is right there. Do you guys see it over my shoulder? You got After Sun, you've got Women Talking, you got Lamb, and then we've got She Said. So I think right now, if you look around me on the walls, the MMT walls are set. There's not a film up here that I don't either seriously vouch for or it was a big hit, either award space, a box office hit, but almost except for Everything Everywhere. Not a huge fan of that film, but the box cover is amazing. Look at the box cover of Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm like, yeah, that finds a spot. Plus, it's a big movie, right? But up here, I got Tar, I got X, and I've got Pearl, Civil War, because, I mean, hello, look, it looks cool. But when you look at the walls, we got great films up here. I'm very happy about that. I will come on and do a thing. There's no question that Women Talking, I hope you're not going to take the downside of Women Talking, because Women Talking, the only issue with that film for me, the number one problem with that film is that it should have been called The Colony. For those of you going to see Women Talking this weekend, if we don't do a stream on Thursday, on Sunday, come back here and tell me that the title for Women Talking should have been The Colony. And if it were The Colony, you would have seen it. Because right now you're like, I don't want to see women talking. I don't blame you. I didn't want to see women talking. Then I saw it and I go, my God, this is cool. And there's something that happens in the film that changes the entire film. And because of that, it opens up the scope of the film and everything changes. And that's what I loved about it. I thought it was going to be a period piece. Oh God, I might give away a spoiler here. But it wasn't. And because of that, it made me go, I like this film. The Colony is the name of the film. And that's it. Good. Please go see it. We need to support films like Women Talking. And anyone who says, oh, here's my favorite. Remember the people that always love to come in and find me on Twitter or find me here. You hate women directors. That's right. Saint Maud, #1 movie of the year. After Sun, #2 movie this year. Women Talking, the #5, I believe, movie for me. Oh, all directed by women. Oh, Erick, you hate women directors. They're so you guys. But the next film that I savage that's directed by a woman, you're the worst. When I didn't love The Woman King as much as a lot of people did, because I don't think the direction of The Woman King is anything spectacular at all. Oh, you hate women directors. No way. He just liked 3 other films and said the best of the year. That's what makes people's heads go boom, explode. They don't know how to figure it out, because when you're objective and you do not play favorites and you don't have an agenda, then you can do whatever you want, and then people don't know what's going to happen because you don't have an agenda. You're going to come out of a movie and say it's terrible. But it's by Damien Chazelle. It's horrible. But atrocious. They don't know what to do because the typical reviewer goes, it's Damien Chazelle, therefore it's good. It's Spielberg, therefore The Fabelmans is great. Fabelmans sucks. Fabelmans is the most overrated film of the year. Even more so than Everything Everywhere for me, because The Fabelmans is actually in contention right now for Best Picture. We a couple minutes here. Let's go to awardsace.com. You guys know that is my website. Let's go through it. And we look right now on awardsace.com, other than a bunch of sneakers, because I have a real problem with sneakers, a real problem with shoes. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have too many pairs. The Fabelmans is the #1 Best Picture contender right now for me. I think that's fair, and that's why it's #1, followed by Maverick. Maverick will be right there at the end because of the preferential ballot. And then we go down the list. But The Fabelmans at #1, okay? The Fabelmans is the Jamarcus Russell of award season. If you know the NFL draft, you know exactly what I'm saying here. Jamarcus Russell, drafted #1, ended up being an absolute bust with the Raiders, got paid tens of millions of dollars to be terrible on the football field. The Fabelmans is just that in the movie world. It's the #1 draft pick right now on awardsace.com. And I think anybody who's doing this will tell you it's the #1 draft pick right now. But it's going to end up being like Jamarcus Russell. Down the road, people are going to look at the Fabelmans and go, how the hell did this movie win Best Picture? That's right. It's directed by Steven Spielberg, so it has to be good. No, it doesn't. No, we don't do that. Never do that. Anyone who does that, DQ'd, it's over. No way are you ever recovering from that, because we don't do that. That was perfect, by the way. Give me a like for that. Jamarcus Russell is the Fabelmans. Fabelmans is Jamarcus Russell. No one, there's not another movie person out there that would be able to do that. Yeah, because they don't even know sports at all. And then also, they wouldn't be able to do it. So give me a like, y'all, as we get ready to wrap this thing. 5-minute warning. We'll go 5. Favorite sneaker brand? Great question. Thank you, Kyle. This is my kind of thing at the end of the show. My favorite sneaker brand is probably, it's tough because I have so many pairs. I actually love my Puma mids. They look like Jordans. I have them on right now. It looks exactly like a Jordan, but the cushioning in the Puma backcourt mid, I want to say is the name of it, is really awesome. Go buy a pair. They look like Jordans and they're like 1/8 the cost. Puma, I like Adidas, I like Under Armour, Nike, and whatever else. Oh, actually, I got to tell you, my favorite brand of all of them is a brand you can't even get here in the U.S. It's Li-Ning. Li-Ning is a Chinese brand that has a few players in the NBA they sponsor. Jimmy Butler's one. Li-Ning shoes are unbelievable. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm going to hit pause because you asked. I'm going to go grab my pair of Li-Ning. Give me a second. I'm going to show you my favorite pair of Li-Nings because that's what we do here at the end of the show. Give me like 2 seconds to run to the shoe rack. Here comes Sneakerhead Erick. Here it comes. I'm going over to get you. This is the best pair to do too. Because if we're going to do sneakers, we're going to do like a pair. Okay, so let me explain something to you guys too. You guys know I hit the gym. I do my best to get there. There's one thing I think is very important for you. If you're going to try to get in shape, here's my advice to you. Get something that makes you motivated to go to the gym. A new pair of shoes, a new pair of tights. Yes, I wear tights quite often tonight at the movie. Gore will tell you that. Whatever it is, a new jersey. For me, I have a ton of NBA jerseys. In this case, as you guys know, football kit, soccer jersey. Whatever it is to keep you motivated. Like I feel like I feel good in this. So this is my favorite pair of lining shoes. Check these things out. First of all, it matches the background. These are pink, hard pink. Now these are direct from China. But what you don't, okay, first of all, you guys are like, oh my God, he's a sneakerhead. This thing, the padding on this lining is insane. Look at the back of this. Speed 7. Okay. This thing is crazy. Look at that. It's got like the cheetah, the pink. These shoes are unbelievable. And you can only order them from China, lining. What other movie person has a sneaker collection like this? I can help you with that. Zero people. Maybe the China could be. China could be. All right, we're just about done here. I never thought, since we're talking shoes, do you like running shoes to run? Oh, that's a good no. I'm a size 11, so just a little bit of cushion. So it's like a 10.5, 11 for me, a little bit more, not too much. You don't want to be crammed into that toe box, right? So these things are 11s and they fit just amazing. But the build on these, the material on this shoe takes a crap, like the elephant takes a crap on the audience in Babylon. These shoes dump all over Nike. These linings are unbelievable. Not to mention, first of all, who would even roll into the gym wearing these? Who goes into the gym wearing these Pink Panther shoes? Me. That's how you do it. Whatever it takes to get you motivated, goodbye shoe, you do. That's my advice for you. Cheetah sides on the mullet, that might be too much. I can't believe Fabelmans might win Best Picture. Alan, look at the rankings. We'll get ready to close here on this Tuesday. Back possibly Thursday, definitely Sunday. I'll get in the community tab and say I'm doing a stream tonight if it's Thursday. Sunday, you guys know it's always. Every Sunday, the flagship show. When you look here, Alan, Fabelman's number 1, Maverick 2. It's number 1. I still believe if you ask me what film's going to win, it's going to be Top Gun Maverick for the win for Best Picture. Director will go to Spielberg, which will be one of the worst director wins in the history of the Oscars because The Fabelmans is the most overrated film we maybe have ever seen in the number 1 draft position, which is why I call The Fabelmans Jamarcus Russell, because it's a bomb. It's not a good film. And just like Jamarcus Russell drafted number 1, if this wins Best Picture, oh my God. I couldn't agree more with this. Nike quality has gone downhill 100%. And when you look at, here's my thing about Nike, and we'll get ready to close the stream. You see, these are the things that, do you think Grace Randolph could, give me a like, please. I'm not begging, but could Grace Randolph get on here and talk about anything other than movies? We talk politics, we talk COVID, we could talk about last night, that scene that we saw on the field. Okay, there's lots of questions to be asked about that. Now's not the time. But anything we want to talk about, that's what we do here. But when you look at Nike, I completely agree with you. Nike tends to, when they have a shoe, like let's say the first iteration of a shoe, a great example is the Luka. Luka has Luka 1. I have a pair over there. I'll show them to you another night. The build is unreal. It's really strong. It reminds me a lot of that lining that I had, the pink one. But what happens is in successive generations, so we have Luka 1, we'll have a Luka 2, a LeBron 1, 2, Kobe 1, 2. Usually the second edition is lower in quality, everything. It's like they take all the good stuff and they strip it out and say, how can we make this thing as cheaply as possible? In a weird way, it's almost like every other year is good for a sneaker. Kobe 1, better, Kobe 2, and Kobe 3, good. And then you got to Kobe 10 was amazing. What a great shoe the Kobe 10 is. I have a pair of those over there. I've got the high tops. Yeah, I have a bit of a problem with sneakers. But again, whatever it takes to get you motivated to go into the gym and to get into shape, if that means a jersey, if that means tights, if that means shorts, if that means shoes, whatever it is, if it gets you to go to the gym that day, then it's worth every penny of it. It's worth every penny. Grace Randolph versus me, I would destroy her. In a live show, I would destroy Grace Randolph. It would literally be TKO within 10 seconds of the show being on. Because I know, there's one thing I know for sure. is that this show live is not easy to do. And I'm not saying, but my skill set matches what this show requires. And I can tell you that Grace Randolph could never do this show for an hour. And we've been on, an hour and 10 minutes? There's no way. We did a 3-hour show. Go back and look at that. Now, granted, Gore helped me, but we got through a 3 because I used to do live television all the time. I had to talk during hurricanes forever. Let's go outside and look at the weather cam. There it is. You can see it. The front's moving in left to right. Let's go to weather right now. Come back. Hey, here's the latest. This is the death count. This is what these are all live. You've been under fire repeatedly. So when we run the show, nobody can run a show like this. Not a live show. Nobody. Not a solo show. No chance. And I'm not just saying that like that's egotistical. No, because it's confidence. Confidence. There's no problem with that. If you're good at something, just say it. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. 0 things. If I were offered a TV spot, would I take it? No. Here's the thing. Would I take another TV job in television news? No chance, because I would get fired. I had a habit when I was in Orlando, in Boston, you name it. You talk to any one of my news directors, they will say, Erick Weber, my God, that guy is a maverick. That guy is a renegade. You do not want to try and make him do something. And that's you guys watch the stream. That's who I am. I'm going to say what I believe to be true. But when I did live news, I would break. There'd be okay, so in live news, you got a teleprompter, right? So I'd say, good morning, Boston. My name's Erick Weber. Let's go live to weather. I would do something like this. Let's have a video in front of us that was like, let's say some crazy doll. Let's imagine it was M3GAN. I'd come out and I'd say, good morning, Boston. I mean, did you see that doll, that M3GAN? I mean, that movie looks crazy, doesn't it? I mean, let's go to weather. That is not normal. What they want out of you in TV news is, hey, everybody, welcome to the news. Here's what's happening. I would do a story on COVID now, and it would be like something like on The Late Show. I would stop and I'd look over and I'd go, are we still doing COVID? Just give me a sec. Are we? We are? We're still talking about COVID? For real? Okay. Here's COVID. And they'd be like, oh shit, Weber's doing his thing again. And then I'd be called in the office and they'd fire me. But that's exactly what this is. I could never be on live television. Oh, I could be on live television, but you have to understand something. When you try to put constraints on what I do and who I am, I'm going to push back hard. And when people come at me on Twitter and say, you can't say that, you can't do that, you're a terrible person. Someone yesterday said something, I'm not going to repeat what they said, but it's like, excuse me, who the hell are you? Second of all, don't come into my world and tell me how to exist. How dare you? Now I do say this. I do come into, and I say, you can't say Babylon's good. You can't say the whale's good. But don't come into my world and say, you can't ask those questions. You can't do that. What's wrong with you? Don't tell me how to think. Go back to your hive mind crap. I don't have time for that shit. If you want hive mind, there's plenty of people on film Twitter who do that. It's all film Twitter. One giant hive mind. I told you that I want a divorce. I don't ever want to talk to film Twitter again. Screw them. You think I want to be liked by that motley group? The mosh pit of misery that is film Twitter. No, I don't give a crap about those people. They don't pay my bills. Screw them. I don't care about them. They don't care about me, so it's good. It's a two-way street. What's a reasonable ab workout? Oh, you're making me stay on because I'm getting super chats. Pilgrim, thank you again for the money, by the way. Thank you again for the super chat, guys. Everybody who does that, I really appreciate it. That's not why we do it. Yeah, we're on here just freestyling here. Go a few more minutes. Favorite ab workout. It's not about abs. It's not really a workout. Abs are all about diet. Okay, so if you keep your fat in check, if you go to the gym and do the work, if you do some cardio, not crazy. Here's the one thing I see that people do a big mistake at the gym. They go in and they jump on the treadmill for 45 minutes. No, you go in, you do your weights for 30, 45 minutes, maybe do 5-10 minutes of cardio. Now my workout consists of this. Go to the gym, hit the weights hard, and I run up and down Sunset. Boom, boom, boom. Really fast. About a little less than a mile. Fast. Real quick clip. Down to San Vicente. Back. Okay? It's up and down. People see me run shirtless up and down. That's what I do. It's for motivation and for me and for them. But when I do it, it's burning fat and it's keeping me where I want to be. Now, if I all of a sudden stop doing any cardio and I started eating like shit and going to the 35er and drinking 10 beers like Gore, I couldn't resist Gore, then I would have problems. But if you manage your diet and you keep yourself and you get after it and you eat sensibly, you're going to be fine. It'll happen. I'm telling you. You can't lose weight. It'll happen. It'll fall off as long as you're doing some work and you don't eat a box of Ho-Hos. I mean, you know what I mean? You got to make smart concessions. Sweet potato fries instead of regular fries. Chicken breast instead of, fatty meat. Whatever it is. Salmon, tuna. These are all healthy. These are all good things. So that's what you want to look for. So it's really dependent on you doing the work outside the gym almost as much as inside the gym. So ab workout, get lower on body fat, you'll see your abs. I guarantee it. Plus 5 minutes. Oh, crap. Fine. I'll go another 5. And that's it. I'm not going to keep going plus 5 for super chats. If it's going to do that, the super chat has to go up in value. It's got to go up. I'm not doing another 3-hour stream. I'm not doing it. I said I was doing 1 hour and that's it. Is your M3GAN review dictates whether I spend money? Go back and watch. This, by the way, any of this was not a M3GAN review, but M3GAN does rock. But it's not a review. M3GAN rocks. That's just what it is. And the review embargo breaks tomorrow at 10. I think this stream is plenty enough. You don't need more. That's the one thing I will say about whenever we do one of these streams and it's a reaction. Did I mention anything about the film? I mean, any kind of details? No. I said this actor was good. The story's fun. She sings a song. I didn't mention the song, but that's not a spoiler. A spoiler would be, at the end where they do, okay, no, we're not doing that. I'm just telling you, you don't need to know that stuff. All you need to know is it worth your money to go see it? Will you have fun? Is it a goof film? Yes, all those things are true, and you will enjoy it. Will I shave my head bald or watch Babylon again? I mean, if I keep growing my hair out, at some point I'm going to hate it, and I will probably do the opposite, right? Whenever you go too far in one direction, you go the other way. Kind of like we're seeing society now. We went so far in COVID, everyone's like, no, we're not. We're going the other way. You can feel it, right? It's completely switched. That's how it is with me. My hair's long and kind of ridiculous. So at some point, I'll just come on here and you'd be like, what the hell happened to his hair? It's gone. Although I wouldn't do a 0, I would do like a 2 or a 3. So at least there'd be something up there. Because if I shave my head all off, it would be ugly. I don't want to do that. Okay. My head isn't shaped that way. I have a very rectangular head, as you guys can probably see. So if I shave my head, it doesn't look good. You need to have more of a round head to have a shaved head. I think Gore would look good with a shaved head. I do believe that. Yes. Gore does do spoilers. He's the worst. Actually, I don't know. I hope he doesn't. Not a review. All right, almost done here. I'd rather watch a 3-hour Avatar stream. I would too. Again, I would rather do another 3-hour stream about anything but Avatar than sit through the film again. I just did not enjoy the film. And that's okay. I understand how a lot of you did, but you need to understand how I didn't too. It's just like, oh my God, what a chore that film was. And I wish it was 2 hours. I would probably like it more. But stop, Troy. I can't do this. You guys are killing me. I can't keep going. At some point, I got to stop. Just answer me this question, then we'll get ready to wrap the stream. Be honest. Come in here right now. If we end the stream, come in. Everybody's got to comment. Everyone here has to comment. If it was head-to-head, live, me versus Grace Randolph, who would win? Go right now. Come in right now. Whoever you got. Who would win in a live stream contest? Grace Randolph or me? Come in and give me right now. I will go through the comments and then we're going to wrap this thing. You better answer on the right side of history, because if you're wrong, I will challenge her. She would never accept the challenge because she'd get destroyed. There's no way. It would not even. I would absolutely beat her. It wouldn't even be close, right? 100%. I do have better abs than Grace Randolph as well. I don't even know who she is. Troy, you don't know who Grace Randolph's only like the #1 film person on YouTube, right? Or Stuckman. Okay, throw all 3 of them in there. Let's do a 3-way. Let's do a 3-way dance, a triple threat tag team match. Who would win? 1 hour live stream. Me, Grace, or the other dude. What's his name? The guy's been doing it forever. I just forgot his name. I just said it. That guy. Who would win? Who would win in a 1 hour live stream? No way. I am taking them out all day. It's not even close. It's not even close. I'm not going to pull up a video. She'd give me like a, oh wait, it would be like her going into gunfight with a butter knife. She would get destroyed. I'm sorry. She might have more followers and more people. I don't care. We're not talking about that. If it was a one-on-one battle to the death in a live stream, would I beat Grace Randolph? Would I beat Chris Stuckman? I would beat both of them. I would destroy both of them. It wouldn't even be a contest, and you guys know it. And here's the funny thing is that you guys know that there's a lot of people on YouTube that do the cuts and the videos and they do 100 takes. This shit's live. Always. And we make mistakes. Hell yeah, we do. But in general, it's flowing. There's not a lot of breaks and pauses and unless I can't pull the browser tab up. That's different. I'm an entertainer. I guess that's kind of true. I mean, if you guys give me the material, I can. She just responded, Eric. Of course she did. Of course she just said that. Facts over feelings. Oliver, 100%. I got into that last night with people. We're almost done here. I can't. At some point, I have challenge her and siphon off her followers. Sooner, here's the thing. I believe that when you make a good product, people will come to you. The channel's grown. You guys are amazing. If we don't even get, I don't even care. That's not what the reason of this whole thing to start was not to go, I'm going to beat Grace Randolph. But I will admit to you that I did watch some of her videos and I said to myself, why is she so big? And second of all, why am I not doing this? That's the reaction, right? If you watch somebody and you're like, really? I mean, do I think she's fine? Yes. Has she been around forever? Yeah. But when I watch her, I don't go, whoa, I see some serious talent right there. I don't think Stuckman doesn't do live, does he? I don't think he does. Because live it's a different animal. You have to, boom, the light's on. I'm right now at 10:18. I'm almost done. It's over in minutes. I promise. I don't care if you guys give me $1,000 super chat. That'd be hilarious. Okay, I would stay on for another 10 minutes. But here's the thing. When it's on, it's live, we gotta go. And there's no one else. There's no safety net. There's no one here to help, right? Except for Gore giving me shit every night and Alan coming in. And all of you, Patrick, everybody here, Gone Girl, everyone going all the way back to Leah, all the people who've been here since day one, and anyone who's new. I don't have the luxury of anybody to throw to. Okay, and because it's a live stream, I can't even show like a trailer and riff on it because they give me a copyright strike, which is so stupid. Because if I recorded it, it'd be fine. But if we do a live stream and there's a trailer, Eric, you can't do that. But because there's no safety net, because we just shoot, because it's all from the heart and from the soul to you, there's no bullshit. Because if I was trying to bullshit, then I would be hems and haws and because I wouldn't know what I was supposed to say. Not supposed to say anything here. We just come on and shoot. And that's why when I always do these, I have to say it's not a review. This stream, none of this, no part of this stream was a review. And I do have a lawyer that will vouch for me. If they want to come at me, Universal, this was not a review. But as we get ready to leave, M3GAN does rock. So they'll probably like that. They'll be cool. They'll be like, it's okay. You like the movie. It's all good. Live and uncensored, 100%. All right, that's it. We're done. I love all of you. You're amazing. You guys are rock, just like M3GAN rocks, not a review. But it is time to say goodnight from Los Angeles live. Eric Weber signing off. Maybe Thursday, definitely Sunday. Back here on MMT. Thank you for being here. See ya soon. Good night, all.